Good afternoon. Can we unmute? There we go. Thank you. All right, good afternoon. Welcome to the Thurston County Board of County Commissioners Board Meeting for Tuesday, July 30th, 2024. It's 2:02 p.m. My name is Ty Menser, Chair of the Board. To my right, Vice Chair Commissioner Wayne Fournier, Commissioner Carolina Mejia. To my left, Commissioner Emily Klaus, and Commissioner Edwards will be, we believe, zooming in at some point here shortly. Calling the meeting to order, and we're going to start off with the Pledge of Allegiance to be led by Vice Chair Fournier.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Excuse me, Chair, the Zoom camera seems to not be working.
Yeah, we're working on this camera feed.
Okay.
Just give us one moment.
We have audio, though.
Yes.
Okay, so we can just proceed forward, I guess. And hopefully our video will get corrected in a moment. Do you want to proceed with the land acknowledgement, Vice Chair?
Sir. English peoples whose elders and ancestors have lived on and cared for the land and waterways of this county since time immemorial, and who still inhabit the area today. Specifically, the Squaxin Island, Nisqually, and Chehalis people are sovereign tribal partners. Truth and acknowledgement are critical to building mutual respect and to remember history as a stepping stone towards healing.
Thanks, sir. We have a proposed agenda. There's been a couple of changes that as noted at the top. And is there a motion regarding the amended agenda?
I move to approve the agenda as amended.
Second.
Motion and second to approve the agenda. Any discussion on the motion? I'll call for the vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. We have an agenda. First up is presentations, Commissioners Department proclamation for Thurston County Fair weekend. And
just a quick thank you to Thomasina Cooper, Fair Manager, and the guests she has with her.
Hello, Commissioners. Wonderful to see you. I'm Thomasina Cooper, your Thurston County Fair Manager. Thrilled to be here today. Wanted to thank you for your recognition of our Thurston County Fair, which does start tomorrow and runs through Sunday. As you well know, our fair is a beloved event in our community. It is an agricultural showcase and celebrates the hard work of artists, gardeners, performers, and of course youth who work with various animals on their 4-H and FFA projects. Attracting about 25,000 attendees over the 5 days of the fair, we offer carnival rides, games, baking contests, shopping, learning, and of course, the Commissioner's Pancake Breakfast, which happens on Saturday morning from 8:30 to 10 out at Heritage Hall. This year, in collaboration with WSU Extension, offering buckwheat pancakes made completely here in Thurston County. Very exciting. It is a great time to come to the fair and celebrate the good things that Thurston County has to offer. Before I step away from the podium, I would like to introduce some very important folks. A few of our hardworking Fair Board volunteers, Marin Gadman there at the end, and Lindsay Lyons. Simply stated, Commissioners, your Fair Board is incredible. They are a highly engaged and active group of individuals, and it's only because of them that our fair continues to be so successful. In fact, there are only a few of us here today because the rest of us are at the fair working, getting animals hauled in, carnival rides set up, vendors all squared away, and making sure that all the electricity and the water works just like it should. It's fair to say that things are buzzing at the fairgrounds right now. Thank you again for your recognition. We appreciate your support.
questions for Ms. Cooper? I have a couple of questions. Sure. So the The opening ceremony is like Wednesday evening, but is the fair, is that when the fair opens, or is it open all day Wednesday?
The fair opens at 10 a.m. tomorrow morning. The welcoming ceremonies are at 6 p.m. tomorrow night.
Got it. That's what I wanted to clarify. No one was quite sure around here.
Oh,
I really like the green shirts. That's very
they're
cool.
very green. You will be able to spy Fair Board members and staff anywhere you are on the grounds.
Yeah, big thank you to the volunteers when I came out a week or two ago to visit the fairgrounds. Didn't see, but volunteers digging and building and doing all sorts of things. So we know how critical they are to the success. So we really thank them as well as our staff. With that, are we ready for read the proclamation? That's right, Chair?
Yeah. I move to proclaim Thurston County Fair July 31st through August 4th, 2024. Whereas the citizens of Thurston County have long demonstrated their unwavering support and appreciation for the Thurston County Fair by dedicating their time and resources voluntarily. And whereas since its inception, the Thurston County Fair has grown to become an integral part of the community, providing a platform for education and entertainment and fostering a strong sense of togetherness. And whereas the Thurston County Board of County Commissioners has consistently demonstrated its commitment to the Thurston County Fair, recognizing its pivotal role in fostering agricultural education among youth, instilling essential life skills, building self-confidence, promoting mental resilience, and deterring youth violence. And whereas the undeniable lifelong benefits that arise from practical experiences in agriculture and animal husbandry have been well documented. And whereas Thurston County Fair serves as a bridge between agricultural heritage and our fast-paced modern life, now therefore be it resolved, the Board of Thurston County Commissioners hereby proclaims the period of July 31st, 2024 through August 4th, 2024 as Thurston County Fair and encourages all residents to recognize Thurston County Fair as an invaluable community asset adopted this 30th day of July 2024 by the Board of County Commissioners.
Names proclamation, if we could get a picture.
We're getting fancier.
Joshua. I didn't know you were here. Oh, Commissioners, this is Misha Chernitsky, one of our wonderful Fairboard volunteers, and Teddy.
It's not quite old enough either.
Aspiring.
Nice to meet you, I'm Leonard.
Thank you. Oh, here, you guys, please, you're like the highlight.
Good shirt. I was
We
like,
have
are
the-
you in the shirt?
Oh, but you've gone and being told to go.
All right, 3, 2, 1. Thank you.
I got that one covered. Okay. All right, next up is opportunity for the public to address the board, and our only sign up this afternoon was Mr. Pettit.
Do you need to make for other speakers or?
Yeah, well, I know Mr. Pettit knows the rules really well, but real quick, if there may be other speakers on Zoom or whatnot, we welcome comments. Please introduce yourself, including the address you reside in the county, address board, not audience or staff. Speakers limited to 4 minutes, cannot donate time to other speakers. We reserve to restrict a person's opportunity to address the meeting for good cause. No comments that are commercial in nature, such as promotion of a for-profit business, remarks about pending land use permits, or similar matters that could become before the board on appeal, and written materials will be considered public records and subject to release pursuant to Chapter 4256 of RCW. Come on up, Mr. Pettit.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. My name is John Pettit. I live out on Rich Road. I have a place called the Deschutes River Ranch. You know, the fair time's always wonderful. Of course, at my own house, it's kind of like having a fair every day. Have a great garden and everything, and I think it's important everybody gets out there. I think it's also important that people have an opportunity to participate. And so one of the things which I'm just going to mention briefly is something that is fully within your ability to make an adjustment, which is change the time of your meeting. Hate to tell you this, 2 o'clock in the afternoon on a Tuesday is a time where many of the working class people are not available. So they don't really have the opportunity to come in and make comments to the people that are supposed to be representing them. I've had a couple of different other topics, which some I just assume keep where they're at right now, but there was one that I thought I might mention here, which had to do with a phone call I received today. Because I received a phone call from the state auditor's office, and you're going to be having a future audit come up. And it had to do with an inquiry about a resolution that we have 2 different resolutions, the same item. And I have given this some real consideration and realized that not one single name that's actually a signature on the document did anybody have any type of a basis of being involved in it other than perhaps signing the document. It's outside of your category of functioning. None of you are people that get involved with the budget or a budget amendment that would have happened 8 months previously. None of you would have had motivation to change the documents. So I guess what I'm saying is there was no intent from my viewpoint of anybody to do anything incorrect. And it doesn't mean that we don't have to correct the process within the county system, that we don't allow those things to happen. But the only person that I would presume would have been involved would have been a assistant county manager that was previously set up, created this change document, presented it to different people, either, as such, and one had taken note and put a date on it because they're concerned this was outside the normal, and I appreciate that. That was a good sign. The other one, trying to go along. Going along is not what commissioners are really about. Going along means that you stop the process of checks and balances. I want to see you continue to move things in a good direction, check and balance everything anyone does. I think currently we have a brand new county manager, and I put him on the top of the list as far as, but we don't decide and trust people based upon good history of they're okay, I like them. We do it because we check the documents on, make sure we keep everyone within the lines. So I appreciate the hard work you're doing, and I'm hoping that you don't do anything to my pancakes when I show up, and that you all make sure you have your health cards. I'm just jesting. It's the county fair. But I look forward to seeing you at the fair. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Pettit. Was there anybody that that did not sign up that wanted to provide testimony? Is there anyone on Zoom who wanted to provide testimony this afternoon?
Yes, please.
Go ahead, Mr. Eastland. You have 4 minutes.
Hi. This is a neighbor dispute kind of question that I have for you. My partner, Molly Gillespie, is selling a house in Evergreen Shores. She's on Catkin Court, 8107 Catkin Court. She has had issues with neighbors for the last few years. There's a neighbor across the cul-de-sac from her, 8106 Catkin Court, who basically has his property as a junkyard. He's living there in derelict, trailers. He's got a few different trailers in various states of disrepair. He's got abandoned vehicles. He's got hazardous waste. We've had a lot of interaction with county officials that have really been very responsive from sheriffs to public works to environmental health, solid waste division, a lot of really helpful people who've been trying to help us move this forward. The problem is that the enforcement isn't happening as fast as new materials are being brought in and disposed of on this property. There's also, over the course of us dealing with this, the property behind her sold, 8106 Buckeye Court. 8106 Buckeye Court, when it was possession was taken by the new owners, they immediately started dumping. We have some records in the materials that I submitted to your clerk before the meeting. There's a letter there from Molly with addendums with all of our interactions with county officials on this, as well as sheriff's department. There's also a police report in there, and there is what sort of official things have been filed on these two properties. But yeah, the 8106 Buckeye Court, there's septic perk holes there that they just immediately started filling with household trash and what I assume is hazardous waste. The big problem here, there's two major problems stemming from these derelict properties. Number one is that Molly's trying to sell her house, and of the 16 people that she's had viewings with, including one that put in a full price offer, 8 of them have withdrawn because of the neighbors. Just seeing the state of it is, it's a shame. I mean, it's, Molly's taken very, very good care of her house, as of other people in the neighborhood, and they're subjected to, rotting cars like in the cul-de-sac on the public right of way. And even beyond that, you can see well into this man's property, and it's pretty alarming. There's also been, drug activity. There's been issues with this man being nude in the cul-de-sac. Yeah, it's a real disgrace. The other major concern here is that neighborhood is, especially that part of the neighborhood, this kind of series of cul-de-sacs, is surrounded on 3 sides by the Black Lake wetlands. It's a federally protected wildlife refuge, one of 2 remaining habitats of the Oregon spotted tree frog, and a federally endangered species. And, these people are discarding vehicles. I doubt they're drained of the fluids. So those fluids could potentially run off into the wetlands, in addition to whatever other waste they have. So I'll give you the bottom line. All of the county officials have been super helpful. The Department of Environmental Health, the Solid Waste Division, has been especially helpful there. You've got Andrew Casillo and Ann Bustamante, I believe. She just started.
Sir, just let you know your time's up, so if you could wrap up and we can follow up with you.
I'm going to get to the end right now. So they've been really, really helpful. I think that they would like to enforce in a way that makes a tangible difference. The problem is that they appear to lack resources or funding to be able to actually enforce these laws. So right now, as it stands, Molly, who's a taxpayer and has done a very good job of taking care of her property and being a good neighbor, is suffering because enforcement can't take place against this person who has no regard for neighbors, laws, common decency, environment, anything.
Okay, thanks, sir. Do we have your contact info? The clerk, you said you provided some information to her.
They sent an email to all of us.
Okay, very good.
Yeah.
We can do follow-up. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. That concludes public comment. Let's move to county manager's update.
Thank you, Chair and members of the commission. Today, I don't have anything to provide as an update.
Okay, very good.
Chair,
Yes, ma'am.
can I request from the county manager, since this has been, it looks like an ongoing case with county departments, if we could get a summary, follow up with county departments, and we could get a summary on what's been going on in the property. I know we received communication from them today, but, getting a summary on what's been going on, the departments, and maybe what's the next step would be helpful for the board.
Absolutely, we can do that.
Okay, sounds good. Then let's move to our consent agenda. We have items 3A through 3E. Is there any request from a commissioner to remove an item from the consent agenda? Is there a motion regarding the agenda?
I move to approve the consent agenda as presented.
Second.
Motion and second to approve items 3A and 3E. That goes directly to a vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries and those items are approved. Item 4A is an interlocal agreement for reimbursement of involuntary commitment court services. Assistant County Manager Campbell, are you presenting this?
Yes, I am. Thank you and good afternoon. This item is requesting your approval to enter into an interlocal agreement with the Thurston Mason Behavioral Health Administrative Services Organization, otherwise known as the BHASO. The BHASO reimburses the county for costs for involuntary commitment court services and covers costs from our Office of Public Defense, Superior Court, the clerk, and the prosecutor. The rate per case is calculated on a 3-year rolling average as required by state law. And we work with each of these offices to compute the case rate. This agreement is an extension. The first agreement of these terms was entered into last year. And we request that the board approve this extension so we can continue to recover costs from the BHASO. And I'd be happy to answer any questions.
So this is follow-up from a change that occurred where we were billing out costs on a kind of a department by department basis. And one of the things that you had described earlier was that the new case rate captures most of that, but there's some indirect costs that are not recoverable that might have been recovered in the past.
That's true.
And I'm just wondering, is there any sense of how much additional cost that we're absorbing from this change?
I don't have that information at hand, but I can certainly get back to you on that.
Yeah, I mean, just even historic, like even just assuming things were like they were in the past, like rather than having to do an exercise of tracking time that we're not doing, I'd be curious to know in previous years, what percentage of our recovery was indirect costs that now, if they remain the same, would not be recovered? Is that something that's easy to?
So it's easy to calculate, but again, I don't have it at hand and would be happy to look it up.
Okay. I ask because this is a topic that comes up pretty regularly in our legislative discussions when I was on the board of BHASO, and it's good to know kind of what that burden, if that burden's increased significantly, the magnitude of that helps us discuss that and talk about how to prioritize that issue.
Great.
Okay, any other questions on this? Okay, then is there a motion?
I move to approve an extension of the interlocal agreement with Thurston Mason Behavioral Health Administrative Services Organization for the reimbursement of involuntary commitment court services, extending the period of performance December 31st to 2024, and the amount increased from $1,270,000 to an amount not to exceed $1,800,000, and authorize the Assistant County Manager to execute the extension agreement and any amendments that do not exceed 10%.
Second.
Motion and second to approve this extension of the interlocal agreement with Thurston Mason Behavioral Health Administrative Services Organization. Any discussion on the motion? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Item 5A is Public Health and Social Services Amendment Number 21 to the Washington State Department of Health 2022 to 2024 Consolidated Contract. Dr. Jen Freiheit from our Public Health Department, our director. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair, Commissioners. Dr. Jen Freiheit, Interim Director of Public Health and Social Services. I am here today to ask for an action to approve Amendment Number 21 to the State of Washington Department of Health Consolidated Contract, providing an additional $1,920,200 through December 31st, 2024. This involves non-binding additional statements of work for foundational public health services, our workforce development grant, infectious disease prevention services, and recreational shellfish activities. I'm happy to answer any questions.
Questions? Nope. Okay, is there a motion?
I move to approve amendment number 21 to the State of Washington Department of Health Consolidated Contract number CLH 31030, providing an additional $1,920,200 for a revised maximum consideration of $22,257,959 for the duration of January 1st, 2022 through December 31st, 2024, and authorize the interim director of Public Health and Social Services or designee to sign the amendment.
Second.
Motion and second to approve amendment number 21 to the DOH CONCON. Any discussion on the motion? Call for the vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Next up is 5B, County Program Agreement with Department of Social and Health Services, Division of Vocational Rehabilitation. Mark Moffitt, Social Services Program Manager for PHSS.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. Mark Moffitt, Public Health and Social Services. I'm here just going to introduce you to my new Community Program Manager, Missy Liparelli, who will present her first agenda item to you.
Welcome.
Hello, thank you. Good afternoon, Commissioners. Again, Missy Liparelli, and I am the Community Program Manager with the Developmental Disabilities Program. Here to ask you today to approve our annual renewal of our School to Work agreement. This is with the Department of Social and Health Services Division of Vocational Rehabilitation Program, and through the period of July 1st, 2024 through September 30th, 2025. Contract number is 246357313. And this is placing our high school graduates with the developmental disabilities into jobs in our communities. And happy to answer any questions that you may have today.
Questions for Missy? Nope. Is there a motion?
I move to approve the county program contract number 2463-57313 with the Washington State Department of Social and Health Services, Division of Vocational Rehabilitation to place high school and graduates with developmental disabilities into jobs for the period of July 1st, 2024 to September 30th, 2025, and authorize the interim director of Public Health and Social Services to sign this agreement and any amendments that do not exceed 10%.
Second.
Motion and second to approve this county program contract. Any discussion? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Thank you.
Thank you.
Moving right along, Public Health and Social Services 5C, ILA with Capital Region ESD 113 for Youth Tobacco Prevention Program.
Hello, Alicia Hughes, Population Health Program Manager with Public Health and Social Services. I'm asking for approval for our contract with Capital Region 113 for our Youth Cannabis and Commercial Tobacco Prevention Program, also known as YCCTPP. And this is $85,000 for July 1st, 2024 through June 30th, 2025 for our youth prevention programming here in Thurston County. Happy to answer any questions.
Questions for Alicia? Nope. Okay, is there a motion?
Move to approve the interlocal agreement with Capital Region ESD 113, contract 6105-IA-02200 to fund strategies to prevent and reduce youth use of tobacco, cannabis, and vaping for the amount of $85,000 for the term of July 1st, 2024 through June 30th, 2025, and authorize the interim director of Public Health and Social Services to execute the agreement and amendments that do not exceed 10%.
Second.
Motion and second to approve this interlocal agreement with Capital Region ESD 113. Any discussion on the motion? None, I'll call for the vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you, Alicia. Next up is 5D, contract with Grants Made Simple. Marino, Responsibility Manager.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. Keely Marino with Public Health and Social Services, here to ask for your approval today for a contract for Grants Made Simple to make payments towards those in our community that are facing eviction through the Eviction Prevention Rent Assistance Program. They would be providing just a third-party service. Their only duty will be to cut rent checks for those vulnerable individuals in our community that are fall under they're a single adult, and they're served through case management, through Partners in Prevention Education. So this is part of the House Bill 1277, which was passed into law in 2021, that created a permanent ongoing fund for prevention through rent assistance and other means. So that is what I'm here to ask for your approval of today.
Any questions for Keely? Okay, these items have all been reviewed a couple of times. This one was new this morning, but most of the items here have been reviewed twice by the board, so no major questions. No questions, so is there a motion?
Move to approve contract for rent payment assistance with Grants Made Simple for a total amount of $675,000 for the 2024 to 25 program year, and authorize the interim director of Public Health and Social Services to sign the contract and any future amendments that do not exceed 10%.
Second.
Motion and second to approve contract for rent payment assistance. Is there any discussion on the motion?
I just have one quick thing. I just want to say thank you to Keely and your team for moving swiftly to get this on the agenda. I know there are a number of community members facing eviction, and by doing this so quickly, we can prevent that from happening. So thank you for all your work on this.
All right, thank you so much. And we had the motion and second, so call for the vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Motion carries. Okay, we are moving to the last substantive item, Public Works, resolution for temporary closure of Kellogg Drive Northeast from 72nd Avenue Northeast to 7203 Kellogg Drive Northeast. Marcus Storvik, Senior Civil Engineer for Public Works. Good afternoon.
Hey, good afternoon, Commissioners. Mark Storvik, Public Works Senior Civil Engineer. Public Works is requesting to temporarily close Kellogg Drive Northeast from 72nd Avenue Northeast to 7203 Kellogg Drive Northeast to accommodate the construction of the Kellogg Drive Northeast Culvert Replacement 2024 project number 98105. This closure would be up for 4 consecutive weeks, occurring sometime between August 26, 2024 and October 31st, 2024. A 3-foot diameter concrete culvert in this portion of Kellogg has completely failed, and the culvert is currently flowing through the roadway fill rather than the culvert. The temporary road closure best facilitates the replacement of this culvert by this fall before higher creek flows cause more damage to the roadway. Residents of Kellogg Drive Northwest, north of the closure, will follow a designated detour around 76th Avenue Northeast and Kerbau Road Northeast. This section of Kellogg only has an average daily traffic of 112 vehicles per day, affecting a total of 7 households. The total detour length is 1 mile and will take approximately 3 minutes. Traffic will be rerouted to 76th Avenue Northeast and down Kerbau, which is a 1-lane private gravel road. Public Works has received permission from all those affected property owners for temporary use during construction. A communication plan to notify stakeholders has been developed, and notice of this closure will be published in conformance with state law. I'm happy to answer any questions you may have.
Questions on the temporary closure? No? Okay, is there a motion?
I move to approve the resolution authorizing the county engineer to temporarily close Kellogg Drive Northeast from 72nd Avenue Northeast to 7203 Kellogg Drive Northeast for up to 4 consecutive weeks between August 26, 2024 and October 31st, 2024.
Second.
Motion and second to approve the resolution authorizing the closure. Any discussion on the motion? Okay, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. All right, well, we've gone quite expeditiously through this agenda. Time for commissioner reports. We do have a public hearing at 3:30. We'll break. That will come back to discuss removal of a solid waste stationary compactor and purchase of a new one. So that'll be up 3:30. Commissioner reports. I'll turn to Commissioner Mejia.
I did most of my reports yesterday. I think the new thing that I've done since yesterday was the WASAC Board of Directors, the Washington State Association of Counties Board of Directors meeting this morning, where the board affirmed a legislative steering committee decision to enter into a suit against DCYF for the juvenile detention.
Commissioner Fournier?
I attended the Washington Association of Counties Legislative Steering Committee meeting last week, in which we decided to make a recommendation to the WASAC board to join in a lawsuit against DCYF regarding their position to no longer accept juvenile offenders into their system. And then in addition to that, I attended the Washington County's Risk Pool Conference, where we talked about insurance rates and investments. And you'll get a presentation sometime soon regarding the insurance rates for next year.
Okay, Commissioner Klaus.
Okay, so these last couple weeks were pretty busy. Last week I had a home visit with our nurse family practitioner program through Public Health and Social Services. I believe my fellow commissioners have gone on that as well in the past, and it was definitely very, very eye-opening. I enjoyed that visit, so I'm grateful I had the opportunity to do that. I also did another tour of Monarch's facility after they did some renovations, and it looks really great, so I was happy to see that. I met with some staff from District Court for my regular bi-monthly meeting. There was a Regional Housing Council meeting. I also did a visit at the fairgrounds, so I'm looking forward to that this week. I also had a Thurston Climate Mitigation Collaborative Executive Committee meeting and a courthouse walkthrough. And I also attended the Sandy's Flats ribbon cutting ceremony downtown. That was with Interfaith Works, so I'm excited about that project.
Thank you. Yes, since the last board meeting, I had all sorts of things. Some of the same ones, Commissioner Klaus. I was at the Sandy Flats ribbon cutting. I did a fair tour as well. Attended a Salmon Recovery Council meeting, a Building Code Council meeting, a Building Code Council Litigation Subcommittee meeting, a Sentencing Guideline Committee Multiplier Subcommittee meeting, attended Office of Public Defense Day. I serve on the Community Advisory Committee on behalf of WASAC, so that was something that happened in Olympia. Very inspiring event. Economic Development Council event. Attended a event with the Ole Tumwater Foundation at the Schmidt House in Tumwater. Visited Capitol Lake to see some of the work that was being done by the consultants as they drained the lake down, and did some of the background work that was very interesting. Attended the Clean Energy Property Tax Impact Subcommittee. The first meeting, I missed the second one this morning because we were in session. South Thurston Economic Development Initiative Study. Board of Health Policy Subcommittee meeting, first one with Commissioner Mejia, Canvassing Board meeting, and then separate meetings with members of Racial Equity Council, the City of Olympia regarding possibilities for regional jail cooperation, and fireworks. So that was, yeah, Commissioner Mejia.
What was that economic development event you attended?
I didn't do well, but Commissioner Fournier has uncovered some irregularities that may explain my poor showing in the hippity hop race.
And what was your bouncy ball this year?
The turkey.
The turkey. It was
If I
the
had a
unicorn.
unicorn, it might have all been different. Anyway, it was a lot of fun, so. That's the end of the agenda. So
Next
we'll-
big race is the casket races, so
Yep.
start preparing.
the commissioners, I think, need to get together on that one.
Yeah, we need to
Public
try and-
Works, I've been asking them for a casket this whole time.
Supporting the commissioner's office, yeah, that's always a really fun event, so. Okay, so we'll see everybody back 3:30 for the public hearing regarding the solid waste stationary compactor, and we're adjourned at this time.